Did you know the average 2-year-old has a tantrum every 2.5 waking hours, with the severity of the tantrum creating what can only be described as post-traumatic tantrum disorder in parents? Well, not really, but it might seem like that. Joining us to offer hope to stressed-out parents, please welcome psychologist and parenting expert, Sally-Anne McCormack.
I think a lot of parents need us, because one of the things with toddlers is that I actually thought that the terrible twos were the time for the tantrums, and I thought I was just the best parent in the world because I got to the 3rd birthday and thought, oh, I'm so good at being a parent. Well, the tantrum started then, so it's different age groups for different people.
But definitely the 3s. I remember the 3s as well. The terrible 3s.
Watch out, Michelle. I'm sorry.
What are tantrums? What's actually happening psychologically in a child when they're throwing one?
It's usually because, well, it depends on the age group. With toddlers, certainly, it's because they can't verbalise. They can't get the actual language out, and they want to tell you, I'm frustrated, I'm angry, I'm scared, and they just don't have the language, so they have to express it any way that they can. One of the things as they get older, though, is that it's more manipulative, perhaps, depending on, the child.
Push this button and this happens.
And surely sometimes they're taking advantage of the fact that you're embarrassed in public, right?
You see the eye going.
That
so
you'll just do anything to make it stop.
That's right.
Yes.
And one of the little tips I did actually want to say today for all parents out there is that we actually teach our children to tantrum as well, inadvertently. We obviously don't do that on purpose. But things like if you think about going to the supermarket and a child says, I want a chocolate, and you say, no, darling, dinner time coming up. If you keep saying no, the child's behaviour is going to escalate. It's going to get louder and, oh, I want a chocolate. And we parents get embarrassed.
Yeah.
We get embarrassed in the supermarket. And all of a sudden, on a really bad day, we're going to say, just have the chocolate, but don't ask me again.
Yeah.
That is called intermittent reinforcement, which is where the child learns the louder I get, the more, the more I push the buttons.
Yeah. So are you saying give in earlier? Is that what you're saying?
Right, we'll talk after. The point is actually, and it's really great in the literature to say don't give in at all. As parents, I had 4 kids. I had, from 0 to 6, there were 4 of them. I was not going to be consistent in my parenting, but my advice as a psychologist is be consistent.
That's right. I've got a saying for that, which is don't let the tantrum win.
Absolutely.
So if you give them what they're tantruming about, it's teaching them the tantrum's winning.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it does. And so they learn how to tantrum. And if you think about, Veruca on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, that's just a full-blown tantrum that she hasn't grown out of.
Do you think adults sometimes model tantrum behaviour too? Looking at you, my husband. The occasional dummy spit, door slam. Nothing ever works. You can all go to hell. That does that demonstrate?
Yes, we need to model our behaviours, and also just going back to the children as well. Apart from modelling our more appropriate ways of behaving when things don't go right, we actually need to really understand that they are overwhelmed. Like a tantrum is really scary for them. Like there's this huge behaviour, and they don't know what to do with it. So we have to make sure that we stay calm while they're tantruming. Don't say that, calm down, darling, be quiet, because if you're having a wifey tantrum, you don't tell me to be calm. So that's not going to help them at all.
Does hugging it out reinforce tantruming, or is that a good thing to do? Because my little Louie just goes... he has tantrums like that. And if I hug him, is that good?
Hugging's beautiful. If that's... unless you're the target of their tantrum, then, you don't go touching me.
So first of all, I just want to reassure parents, it's normal for the kids to have a tantrum.
It is absolutely normal. That is the way that they express language, much like it's a... that's how children communicate. They cry, if they...
So it's about what we do to respond to the tantrum. So you're saying don't give them what they're tantruming about.
Yeah, no, don't give it to them.
And don't say calm down.
No.
And what can we do that's positive?
We can do things like distract them. So, actually, first of all, give them the words. So if they're tantruming about something, help them with the language. Just say, you're mad or you're cross. So help them with the language, express it for them, because, that's a teaching opportunity. Distract them from whatever it is that's happening. So don't just leave them there. Get prepared yourself. Like if you're going out and you're planning on sitting and having a coffee with someone for 2 hours, don't just expect them to sit down quietly.
Yeah.
Bring some food and other things to play with. Remove them from a situation if they're, hurting someone else, even if it's sibling or whether it's, someone else. Remove them from a situation. Take them away. Explain it if depending on their age group, or just remove them and give them something else to do. We really do need to be prepared for each situation because they don't have the ability to control their behaviour at that point in time.
What else we got to do? Support other mums.
Yes.
Don't give the old at the supermarket when you see someone else. There's nothing worse, is there? When you're struggling with your kid and some other woman walks past, like...
Can't you control that?
Yeah.
And even when you do, there's all these pieces of advice, and they'll either say, look, you did the wrong thing or you did the right thing at the same point in time.
Yes.
So everyone's got their own opinion.
My mum laughs at kids throwing tantrums sometimes, which I just can't stand that. But she thinks it's sort of a good method of cajoling them out of it, or maybe she's just cruel, I don't know. But I don't like it. Is that a helpful thing?
I don't think it's helpful at all. It's really about modelling an appropriate behaviour.
Yeah.
They need to know what to do. So don't tell them what not to do. Don't say don't get angry. Don't, You need to show them and teach them what they can do. Empower them.
So you say you are angry. You're angry right now. Let's go away. Let's have something else and have a talk about it.
You're sad. You want a drink. It's mummy won't let you have one, or whoever it is.
Well, George, I hope you don't mind me telling a story, but George made a child furious once by handing them a banana that she had peeled because the child wanted to have it like a monkey.
I'm such a bad person.
That's hard to do. Get a banana.
Like a monkey! And then she bit the table in fury.
It goes down in history. Would you please thank Sally Ann McCormack? Tuesday, you're with The Circle, and we'll be back very soon.